stop talking things they love, talking of the toys from the stars above. Join Dave of the Dead and Ryan Speaks Geek as they keep 375 alive.
Hello, welcome back to 375 Live. I am Ryan Speaks Geek.
And I'm Dave of the Dead. We are talking today about the creatures of Star Wars.
This is a creature feature.
It certainly is a creature feature. We have loaded up the table with creatures big and small, as many as we can really fit.
We really thought this was going to be like a quick, small video, so this might even be like the first of a series of videos, because we could probably do an overall today and then talk a bit more specifically on other episodes, because we kind of forgot how many creatures. I think it's fair to say.
The great thing about Star Wars is that, you've got the ships, and you've got the figures, you've got the creatures in sort of equal measure. Maybe we haven't had as many in recent times as we used to, but there's third-party creators in here as well. We've got obviously vintage, modern, everything
Disney.
in between.
Not
yes.
even technically a 375, but it works for 375.
Yeah, Ryan, what was your introduction to not just Star Wars figures, but the creatures? When were you like aware of sort of maybe things like the Rancor and?
Actually, was the Rancor. This very Rancor has always been one of my favourites. But when I was a kid, this is obviously when watching the films, I loved all the creatures, but the Rancor really stood out for me because it's terrifying. It was the first probably. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Wampa is scary, but it's in for such a brief thing, and you only saw like the claw and a bit.
A puppet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Rancor was as well.
It's a puppet. But the Rancor was full screen time. It was giant. It ate someone. You know, ate the
was
Gamorrean
terrifying.
guard.
The first time you see it on screen. Yeah.
And then toy wise, like because this was in the early 90s when I got into Star Wars. Sure. When I was a kid, because I was born in 1990, so I'm one of those. Sorry, people. But all the figures were in boot sales and in like private listings in the like local newspaper, and they were cheap.
Yeah.
So me and my mum would go on this quest and buy collection lots. So one of the big first collections I got had the Rancor in it.
Oh, you got it in a collection, nice.
Yeah, right at the beginning, and so like no matter how cool all the figures were, this beast of a thing. Like, and I didn't have a character or a creature as big as that in any of my toy lines.
No, it was huge. It was absolutely huge. My introduction, like, I mean, again, maybe a few years older, but similar background to buying figures. I bought them from secondhand boot sales and the market as well, where you could pick out figures for 30p each or 4 for £1. But the Rancor, I do remember getting the Rancor. That was £5 back in the day, and that was a lot of money.
Yeah,
probably took some convincing of my mum back then.
I'll clean the car. I'll
Yeah.
wash the side down. I'll do the dishes.
I remember. Yeah, it was like a Rancor, and there was an AT-AT, and they were sort of both marked up a little bit more expensive than what you're used to sort of buying, like with pocket money sort of. Available, but wow, what a toy that was, and the amount of articulation you got, the wrists and the mouth opening and closing. It really was a play feature with the rest of the collection.
First thing I did, literally on the drive home, having this lot, obviously I had some of the stuff on my lap playing in the car because you don't wait till you get home to start playing with toys when you're a kid. I put a Tusken Raider into its mouth all the way down, and I only got it out probably about a month or two ago, but it's been there since I was a child, because as you do as a kid, I just wedged that thing down there. I assumed there was some way to get it out again. I was really wrong.
Yeah, I remember taking mine round to a friend's, and he stuffed a Lego figure in there. But to try and get it out, he managed to rip one of the arms off. So this is why your Rancor is out on display, and mine's in that cabinet with an arm sort of.
Is that why it's got the arm?
It's still dismembered to this day, and I've never fixed it. A bit like Retro Blasting's Broken Vader. I've just never had the.
It's too linked to the memory.
Yeah, I know. I mean, maybe I will. I mean, Toy Polloi does some videos on how to reattach the arm, but I don't know.
I think I'd rather get a second one.
This amount of time,
I think I'd rather keep that as like the memory and then get a second one.
Yeah.
You can't repair it now. Maybe that should be our mascot.
What, the broken Rancor? Maybe.
Ronnie Rancor's Ronnie the one-armed Rancor. There we go. New mascot. Let us know if you think that works. Yes, that was my first introduction. So, if we're talking about introductions, then we should really talk about Kenner Beast, because that's where obviously the first figures for Beast came. We had obviously we didn't have any in the A New Hope line. Did he come out in that first bit?
The Dewback Patrol. Yeah, I mean, I never saw it as a kid, but it did come out on the classic Star Wars box set.
So my one does not have the reins, but this is my one, which again I only got recently. The little play features, like the moving the tail to move the head, and the the infamous trapdoor. The way to do figures, to have the figures interact to ride them, was to have that, have that trapdoor element, which I really love that, because obviously having that, and then when you take it out, it springs out and it's solid again. I thought it was such a great idea.
Yeah, a feature that they carried on through the Tauntauns. Really cool. I would like to add a Dewback at some point to my collection, and the Dian Ogre as well, because obviously we didn't just get the creatures, we got almost like accessory.
Yes, well, this is one of those things I didn't even know about for ages, because obviously we didn't in the UK we didn't really get the Death Star playset this came with.
Yeah, we didn't get the tower, did we?
No, we had the Palatoy cardboard one, which didn't come with one of these, and it's just rubber. That's all it is. My one, you'll notice, it's got like a painted eye on it. I decided at some point when I was younger to paint an eye, because I realised
actually really good.
It works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I got this one back when they were a lot cheaper on eBay, when you didn't cost an arm and a leg to ship from the US. Again, I would consider him a creature, because I know he's not really a character, but like I think Salacious Crumb, weirdly as a creature. But because I considered, because Jabba was considered a creature as well.
Yes, again, we've got some Jabba representation from the Power of the Force, just because I don't think this guy really fits in any lines now.
Just in my
given
heart.
that paint job. But yeah, the original Jabba the Hutt playset, as it was, not just the creature, but the whole playset. Again, swishing tail action, and really is just as much a part of like the figure collection, isn't he?
Absolutely.
As anything else. I know he's not one of the original 96, but you can't have a figure collection without Jabba the Hutt.
And then you also had like the variations with Tauntaun. We had solid belly and split belly. So if you really wanted to recreate a scene where Luke is forced into the open belly of a Tauntaun, you can, thanks to Kenner.
Again, I love that they managed to bring out two different versions.
Yeah.
I remember I had both versions as a kid. I just assumed it was some sort of error that one of them had the open belly and one of them just they hadn't finished it off. But no, two actual variations of the Tauntaun, which they've carried on through, all the releases really, haven't they? We've got the most modern representation.
Have they ever done a split belly one in modern?
Yeah. They did in the Saga line, like that blue Saga line from 2002.
And the guts.
Because you got the guts.
And they were the guts that come out of the Ackley, I think. I think they were like the same guts, but in blue rather
they might
than...
be painted different.
Yeah, because they're like purple here, and I think it's the same guts. Yeah, you're right, actually. That rings a bell.
Hasbro actually gave us guts.
Yeah, for your action figure gut collection. The hand of Luke, the guts of a Ackley. You could have had it all.
Yeah.
So Kenner, and the other one obviously is the Wampa.
Yeah.
He's hidden behind there.
Had a bit of the snaggletooth treatment, really, didn't it? Because he's got sort of the triangle eyes. Doesn't really resemble the Wampa all that much, apart from the sort of colour. But no, I love this. I love the sort of towering, the arms swing and all the rest of it. Sits a bit funny, but
yeah. And there was the mythical one, which apparently I think it's from Mexico, the Black Wampa.
The black.
It's like, which we'll put an image up, but it's the mythical sort of collector's item. I have made a custom one, which I don't have with me, annoyingly. I couldn't find it, but I did, because Wampas are quite easy to find, I did make a cave Wampa, which is brown, because in Shadows of the Empire...
Again, picture will have to go up here.
Yeah, my love of Shadows of the Empire. I think they just had the character model from the Hoth level, and they put it in the mountains. And so it became that. So I made myself a vintage one. And then I made a vintage baby one to go with it from the next 17 as well. And then really odd, I've got this one from Russell King from Blue Ice Customs, and it is a sort of holographic see-through blue vintage Wampa.
Which is,
it doesn't
the
need
most
to,
random thing.
Yeah, it doesn't need to exist, but I'm so glad it does. I absolutely love it. It's so cool. Looks really good in the light. But it's a loved character. It's almost like a big figure.
I agree. It's they really did give a lot of love to the creatures, even all the way back from 1978. One thing we didn't get though was the one thing that Hasbro are releasing later this year, the Bantha.
Yes, because we didn't get one of those till the 90s.
No, I've never owned one. Never had the 90s one. Never had the awful 30th anniversary collection.
That one was awful. I had the 90s one, the super fluffy one.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it, and it was awesome.
That is really good. I mean, I would have picked that up if we weren't going to get the.
I actually think I might try and pick that one up again.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get the new one.
Well, it'll probably come down in price, won't it? Now
is my logic.
Yeah.
But someone, because it was planned at one point, the Bantha.
Yes.
In the lost figures made from Kenner, that the Bantha was actually in the list of ones that, like things to be made. So
this is going to get a little controversial.
Yeah.
Well, no, this particular release isn't.
No.
But
this is the Stan Solo Bantha, and it is awesome.
it really is. Like this is. I think this is my first time seeing it in person as well, and.
It has the trap door as well, so we can put our Tusken Raider in there.
Man,
It's good. When
really cool.
behold, it has the.
That is weighty.
Yeah.
Wow, that...
It's solid. It's got like the
Yeah.
rubbery type saddle, which can be removed.
It's every bit what you'd have expected it to be had Kenner made it back in the day. And if again, if Hasbro are watching, like, well, no, we don't need a retro collection version because
We don't need it now. You know, I'd rather
if you
than
can
spend the
afford to
money on
get
something
this,
else.
then yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Details are spot on.
Yeah,
It was originally being made by the Fan Strike Back. I was one of those people that did invest in that, and that guy
well,
ran off with everyone's money. Chris Cron, the evil man that he is. And even when Michael French actually did get one at Retro Blasting, the quality of it was shocking.
Yeah.
It was awful, genuinely awful. So Stan Solo jumped in and was like, well, you know, I feel bad for everyone who got robbed, so I'll make it, you know, how it should be made. And I'm so glad he did, because it's perfect. And it came with the box as well, like, it was awesome. And then the little bonus, which is the new little trend at the moment, we got Baby Bantha, which again is really awesome. I've got a few of these, but it's got the head that moves side to side, things, solid piece.
so who's made this?
Stan Solo.
This is Stan Solo, because I know you like your baby versions of the creatures. They're not all third party, are they? You've got some from Micro Machines, was it? Or
I have done a micro. I did
Yeah.
make myself a baby Rancor out of the Galoob Rancor, like for the Micro Machines, because I like the trend, but it's also like the one that's in Bad Batch.
yeah, okay.
So
yeah,
I thought that sort of worked
Yeah.
in that sort of capacity as well for Bad Batch, so like the baby Rancor. So we have seen a baby Rancor in it. So that worked weirdly well, like the scaling of it,
Yeah.
considering it's the Galoob Micro Machines one. Obviously,
They almost have just shrunk down the Kenner.
it's very similar, except for when you put something in its mouth. This one does actually have a panel at the bottom
Ah,
for the figure to come out.
That's
So
a nice feature.
childhood me was just like, oh, that's what I assumed they did. So that was really cool. And obviously we moved into, speaking of Micro Machines, 90s, you know, it's when we had Power of the Force line.
Yeah.
Well, Power of the Force 2, sorry. That's when they did do new Tauntauns, new Wampa, the Bantha. Because we had the special editions, they had the Ronto.
The Ronto, yeah. We've got one out, haven't we? Yeah. And again, I think there's a lot of love for that creature. Maybe not the actual figure, fine. But a bit of love for that. If they brought it back, I think it would sell, wouldn't it?
I think so, especially considering, like, I know, you know, the special editions are a bit controversial, but we've seen the Ronto in other media now as well, quite a bit. And obviously it wasn't in the original Kenner era films versions, but I did make a Kenner-esque version of the Ronto. So I've gone for like a solid colour all the way over. I've made a new saddle where we can have the vintage Jawa sit, and I've used the two hooks on the back to put the old Chewbacca cargo net and the C-3PO in. So works really well, I think. But I like the idea of like doing that Kenner aesthetic on things. Like it's more about the era of the films rather than whether it was in the film at that time those figures got released.
Yeah.
So
I think it's good to touch on this sort of side of collecting. Like this is 375 Alive. You know, we are bigging up 3 3/4 action figure scale. But that doesn't necessarily have to be just Hasbro and Kenner. Like fans create such wonderful pieces.
Yes.
I've got a Puffer Pig from Ian Butler.
I love that
here,
so
and I'll
much.
Probably big up Ian Butler on so many of these videos now. But there are third party creations that really do add to your collection.
100%. The and for those niche items that Hasbro might not make as well, like so, Trash Compactor is someone that obviously again we've got had a fair few things on about. Trash Compactor has done the dragon from the Star Wars Holiday Special about Boba Fett rides. He's done a full scale version and a baby version.
Of course,
But done the full scale with the trapdoor element where you can put it in. It's even got an alternative saddle with like moulded boba legs, holiday special legs. So yeah, because Hasbro realistically aren't probably going to make that. So
tout it,
yeah, you know, you got Ian Butler making Puffer Pigs. You got Trash back to making Panama Dragons, I want to say. So that's really cool. Yeah, you're right. Everyone's got love for different elements of the creatures as well.
And yeah, although fans are doing the more obscure stuff, let's not forget Hasbro did back in 2009 the Legacy Collection. This has no business being made in action figure form. This is the Gelagrub.
Aren't we glad
From
it is?
from I want to say Felucia.
It is Felucia, yeah.
So
and with a clone trooper to ride
Revenge
it.
of the Sith, Ayla Secura and her 327. Oh, you won't see them back down there, but yeah, the Gelagrub Patrol. I love it.
It's got pizza movements.
Ridiculously weird. It's everything. Star Wars is weird, isn't it? Like that just sums it up. The Gelagrub got sort of an inaction figure, apart from the pincers at the front.
It's very flexible. It's a very thin like rubber. I suspect that's the sort of point. But the pincer movement, I don't know why.
The only thing that would top it off if it had a light effect
yes.
as well, because they do glow. I think officially, like, did it appear in the Force Unleashed?
It might have done.
I don't know because, like, again, like,
been a while since I played it.
It's a blink and you miss it in Revenge of the Sith. You might see it for a split second, but wow.
But I suppose the dewback was just a little statue in the background at one point.
Yes.
In A New Hope.
I guess. I
actually thought it was a nice return to that form of, if it exists, we'll make it.
Oh yeah, totally.
But it's such a random and pointless
really
creature.
Is the most random.
It doesn't even have a saddle. Like they just sit on it.
No, yeah.
Like just
it'll get you there slightly quicker than walking.
Yeah, debatable. But with claws. There we go. Pincers, sorry.
For me, that is the most obscure. I don't know if you've got a most obscure thing that has been released by Hasbro.
Actually, I will go for one. It's the little fox that comes with you got Fixer and what's her name?
Oh yeah, Cammy and Fixer. Yeah,
the little fox right at the very beginning there. That's pretty obscure because it's a deleted scene, and I'm pretty sure the fox isn't in the deleted scene. It's from the comic. I
mean, I don't know where that. Yeah, it wouldn't be in the actual movie.
So it's from the comic book. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, I mean, just those figures are again back when Hasbro was just making anything
cool stuff.
Back then. Okay. The tiny little almost sort of dog cat like fox
dog cat.
Yeah.
Fang.
And then you've got the complete Galaxy sets. We've got this from Dagobah.
Yes, this is I think it's like a swamp skeeto, I think it's called. But it's like a little dinosaur that flies, and it is actually physically attached to the playset. But I broke mine off as a kid because I wanted to play with this. So I might find a way to do it so it's removable. But I really loved it. But it's just a cool.
Well, it is
creature.
actually, and it's part of the 3 3/4 inch line.
It is. Force too.
And you've got the swamp creature as well from Dagobah down there as well.
X-wing set, I think that came with.
Yeah, it came with the X-wing. I don't have. I think I had the X-wing, but second hand, so I didn't have the creature.
Probably because I bought the creature from the same guy. You got the Minoc as well, a very unloved little creature. Minocs are a big part of Empire Strikes Back. You know, that
They're
cool scene.
Yeah.
We had 3 different versions, I think. There was one that was like semi-translucent blue, came with the Chewbacca and the Power of the Jedi line, I want to say.
And then Disney did a larger version, didn't they, with I was to say the Spider. It's the Spider Disney.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So they did their own set of creatures. They came in little carriers.
Yes.
But the creatures weirdly actually work very well. Some of them work scale-wise really well with 375.
Well, they did the dewback as well, didn't they? I've got a Legacy one here, which is kind of resembles a version of a dewback, not the one that we know and love from A New Hope, anyway. But
it's a dewback.
It's a dewback.
But yeah, so the spider. This is the one here. This is the Rebels spider, I believe, rather than the one that's in the Mandalorian. So the one in the episode with the Bendu. I believe it's that spider. It does have movable legs, which is terrifying.
Terrifying. Honestly, I'm
just going to put him on the floor now.
You do not want that crawling around. Yeah.
And it hisses. So that's like scales really well with the figures. And then they also did the big creature, in Force Awakens where Finn is drinking out the thing with the giant creature. They
Yes.
did that, and that scales really well. So some of those bits actually scale really well. So again, another way to expand your 375 scale creature features.
I want to say the Lugger Beast, but was the Lugger Beast the thing that Tito rides? That's got almost like a ATST sort of
Could
face?
be.
Could
be. Unknown, TBC.
That's something I thought we might have gotten from the Force Awakens. Actually,
I thought that would have been right up there,
we've got
considering
the rider, and obviously he interacts with Rey.
Constable's Evo. Let's not forget.
We did get the Raftar, and from the same line we got an Empire Strikes Back Wampa. That was from like the Last Jedi / Force Link range, and I thought that was great. The Raftar, I mean, the
that's
tentacles are
quality
hard to
control
stay
on the tentacles, but as a toy, great because you can put the figure in the
really
mouth.
cool, yeah. And the Wampa, considering we don't have a vintage collection version, that's kind of that's kind of got all the articulation you would want.
Yeah.
In a modern day Wampa.
If you needed to swipe, be able to go like
yeah,
that.
has the detachable arm.
Nice.
But yeah, really, really cool. And the fact that we got that in like the Force Link line, which was essentially like a
Comtech.
5 POA line, wasn't it?
Yeah. Comtech 2.0.
Yeah, really cool.
375 alive.